This week, we're doing a full tournament recap of the California Open with Western Outdoor News Tournament Director Billy Egan. We get so many interviews, so much information. Let's get to the show.
When it's your turn.
I couldn't get him in the boat, man. I farmed so many fish this week, it just killed me. But a great tournament.
I had another accident with my boat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I hit a pothole, broke the axle, spindle from the axle. I was like, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to fish.
And man, I'm still a big fan of shared weight tournaments. You know, it's a learning process for those guys.
So I power poled down, picked up the Senko, put down my swim bait, and threw the Senko over there, lifted it up, it loaded up, reeled into it, and I knew immediately it was a big one. I told my co, this is the one, get the net, let's go.
The 2021 Cal Open is in the books. I am here with Billy Egan, and we're going to run through the whole event. We're going to talk to many of the anglers that won. We're going to talk to some that didn't, but have a lot of good insight. Billy, tell me about the Cal Open. What were the vibes going into the event before that first day?
The Cal Open has grown immensely over the years. Obviously, this was our 9th annual Cal Open at Clearlake with different dates, but we've been consistent now with April, and it's working. I mean, we had over 230 pros registered for this tournament before it started, and at the end, the bell rang with 214 boats, which, at least as far as I can research back, it's the largest Pro-Am ever held in California.
Wow.
For sure. Next to the U.S. Open. So, there's been some team tournaments back in the past that have had a few more boats, but as far as a Pro-Am it goes, it's the biggest Pro-Am that's been held in California. And the vibe was good. I mean, Clearlake is phenomenal. I mean, the fact that we had the first 2 days, every single team that was able to weigh in, a couple teams came in late and weren't able to weigh in, but they even still had a 5-fish limit. For 2 straight days, we had 5-fish limits across the board, over 7,000 pounds of fish per day.
Wow. When you put it like that, that's pretty incredible.
You think about Tracy, my bump master, lifting 21,000 pounds of fish in 3 days. Okay, there's only two teams that didn't bring 5-fish limits in on the third day. So, and that's unheard of. I've been doing this 10 years, and that just is a testament to Clearlake and what kind of a fishery that place is. But the vibe was good. A lot of people are tentative because of the recent change that we made to the Lakeport facility. But Lakeport rolled the red carpet out. It was amazing. The guys loved it. I've heard from a lot of them saying this was the best one yet. And the flow was good. The vibe was good. The fishing was good. And it was really nice to see some of these guys do as well as they did. And some of them are, not new names, but guys that haven't been in the top 10 for a little while. And it was really good to see some of these guys come on top because it was anybody's game.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody was catching the same fish. It was just that couple guys that were catching the more quality fish that ended up on top.
And speaking of ending up on top, I'm sure everybody saw the coverage by now of Cliff King took first place among the pros, and Hunter Jacobson took first place among AAAs. What did they walk away with, Billy? Big prizes on the board this year.
Well, Cliff, which is awesome. He and his wife Blossom and the whole family, they're just awesome people from Ione, California. He walked away with basically about $72,000 in cash and prizes with the Basscat boat, which is a Sabre FTD, and it's got the Mercury 175 on there, which was an upgrade because it was supposed to be a 150. He also won a power pole for that boat. So in total, about $72,000 in cash and product. I think the check was for about $26,000 for his first place. Hunter won over $6,300 some dollars, and that's just in payouts. Now these guys also got big stringer money, which was really unique. Again, in my 10 years, I've never had a pro and a co go out in the final day, end up winning it together, and both be champions. Usually that AAA is on somebody else's boat, and it doesn't work out the way it did. So it was a Cinderella story kind of, and it just came together great, and the event was smooth. I know we had a couple online issues with internet on the final day, but we were able to get it back, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of people watching the live stream, and we definitely stepped up the live stream game this time. And those of you that watched know that, good things are coming in terms of our live stream and our online presence.
I'd like to thank LifeSource for stepping up and sponsoring that live broadcast at the Cal Open and allowing us to take it to the next level. And just wait till the U.S. Open. We ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh yeah, the U.S. Open's coming up, but in the meantime, we're talking Cal Open. We have so many guests lined up for you today. We have Jimmy Reese, we have Kent Brown, Ron Tobey, Todd Kline, Hunter Jacobson, Cliff King. It's the who's who of the Cal Open, and they're all up on the show today. First up on our list is Jimmy Reese. Billy, tell everybody about Jimmy Reese and why you spoke with him.
Jimmy Reese, obviously, he comes from the Reese family. Skeet Reese is national pro at BASS, and Jimmy is currently fishing the FLW on tour, and so he happened to be around. He's been a long time on bass guy, and he's got an extra boat out here. His wife and he's got a ranch right around the corner from Clearlake, so it was easy for him to just fly in, fish it, and fly back to his East Coast event. But great guy, ended up in 6th place, and just wanted to catch his point of view from the tournament and what he thought of the progression, because he's been there since the beginning.
Jimmy, what place did you finish?
Finished 6th place.
6th place, and you got a bit of busy schedule, but you took some time. You were home to join us. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Actually, I was really looking forward to this event. So as soon as I saw it on the calendar and it worked within my schedule back east, and I said I'm definitely fishing it. So I actually catching a flight 6:30 tomorrow morning, heading to Jacksonville and then driving to South Carolina. But this tournament, we hit it perfect. The timing was perfect. The things started warming up. You saw the big weights, last month,
right,
and they were all catching them deep. A lot of them deep, and on rock piles and stuff. And so when this nice weather came in, this lake
they moved up.
They moved up hard, and it's not just in one area. They moved up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and with the water being 6 feet low. The Rumsey gauge is at like 1.1. Normal is 7.5 feet, and so it's 6.5 feet low. It puts these fish out. They can't hide.
Right.
And so you can see beds
everywhere.
The whole lake.
Yeah.
The whole lake. So it was fun. So
it was an amazing tournament. I haven't been involved with the tournament, let alone 2 days of complete 100% 5-fish limits across the board with 14,000 pounds of fish. And then to have a third day follow up with only 2 bags come in with less than 5 fish. That's unheard of. This place is unreal.
Yeah. So the first day there was 37 weights over 20.
Right.
Yesterday there was, I think, 32 weights over 20 pounds.
Today was not that many.
Yeah, I don't know what happened today,
20 or so.
But these fish can handle so much pressure. So it's a healthy lake, and that's why it's been voted number 1 in the nation, and that's why people keep coming here, and the crappie fishing's fun.
And why we keep coming back. We're looking forward to the 10th anniversary next year in April. We hope
same week.
Next year. All right, sounds good. Jimmy, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, Billy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next year is actually going to be the 10-year anniversary of the Cal Open. Tell me about kind of the history and across 10 years. What have you seen, Billy?
Well, it's been, like I said earlier, it's been an amazing journey. This will be the 10th anniversary of the Cal Open coming up in 2022 in April. We're looking to do some really special things for that event. Talked to a few different people up in Clearlake that might get involved. And to Clearlake, it means a lot. To have 428 guys come up for more than 7 days at a lake, you're talking over $1.7 million of influx in that town. So they're happy that we're coming. So they're looking forward to the 10th anniversary. But years ago, when we used to do the Wombass Pro-Ams and we did the team events and we did all the different divisions and the U.S. Open, the big sponsors came to us and kind of gave us a hint that the market was switching a little bit, and they didn't really want the Pro-Ams and the teams and all the things that all the other organizations were doing. And they said, hey, if that's what you're going to continue to do, we'll see you at the U.S. Open. And we all collectively got together and said, okay, well, if they like the U.S. Open and they don't want the teams and the Pro-Ams, we better bring them other big events. Mm-hmm. So we mirrored the U.S. Open, put it at Clearlake, which is a natural fit because it's one of the top 5 best lakes in the nation, if not 1 to 3. Consistently, and that's how the Cal Open was born. And again, the 10th anniversary is coming up, and it's great to just see some of these guys. Kent Brown was one of the guys that's been fishing it since the beginning too.
I couldn't get them in the boat, man. I farmed so many fish this week, it just killed me. But a great tournament. Had a lot of fun. Got to fish an area, really saw about 3 tournament boats the entire week. So that part was fun, and got to catch them all flipping a Strike King Rage Bug and a Strike King Thunder Cricket, and just got to fish shallow with the big rod in my hand the whole time, 20-pound line. So there was no drop shot, probably why there's not going to be a check.
Well, this is our 9th annual event here at Clearlake. How's it, have you seen the progression through the years?
Yeah, you know what, the biggest thing about this tournament, Billy, is it's really growing the respect of the anglers out here. The California Open, it's never going to be the U.S. Open at Lake Mead, but I think it's definitely a sister, and that's really cool, and it's cool to have a big tournament like that out here where the anglers have an opportunity to fish all 3 days. I think they like that, and I think that's a reason for the field. And man, I'm still a big fan of shared weight tournaments. It's a learning process for those guys. And if you're, look at Cliff, man. You got a great young angler right in the back of the boat, catches a big fish today, and helps him win that boat. So that was awesome.
Congrats to Cliff King. Thanks so much for fishing the tournament and your support. We appreciate it, Kent.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Kent Brown at the tournaments. He's been there since the beginning. But if you want to get a laugh, go check out our Facebook page. Jonah only did a video between Kent Brown and Byron Velvick, who've known each other a long time and go way back. They did a video, and you'd be rolling on the ground. It's a great one to check out. But always good to see Kent at the tournaments.
Yeah. So next up we have Ron Tobey. He got second place at the event. Tell us about Ron and how he kind of hit a streak of bad luck in the past and in this tournament.
Well, Ron, it's funny. I've known Ron for a long time. He kind of comes and goes at events. You see him, and then you don't see him for a few years, and he comes back. And it was funny because while we were on the awards, I think it was, I was talking to him, and it was maybe 6-7 years ago. We were doing a Clearlake Pro-Am, and he signed up late, and on the way to the Pro-Am, he got in an accident. Somebody hit his boat and destroyed it, and he ended up borrowing a boat and ended up fishing the event and ended up winning the event. So it was funny when I saw him at this year's event, I was reminded him of that, and he said, well, wouldn't you believe somebody hit me this year too at Clearlake, and he ended up borrowing a boat again
and getting second
place this time. So
yeah,
it was great to see him there, and I just wanted to catch a little bit from Ron. Being second place, it's an amazing finish out of 214 guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So here's Ron Tobey.
Sure. Well, let me start off with, I had another accident with my boat.
Oh no.
Yeah, I hit a pothole, broke the axle, spindle from the axle. I was like, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to fish. And then luckily I had somebody down in Oakley. It took me like 5 people to find someone to weld it back so I could get up here. I thought, well, maybe I could do this again. But,
real close.
Didn't quite work out, but it was close. Yeah, I'm not complaining, man. I mean, I was a little disappointed, but
how are you catching
I feel
your
good
fish?
now. Cranking.
Cranking?
Yeah.
You're down south, mostly?
I was right over here. Mid-Lake.
Mid-Lake? Okay, all right. Well, hell of a job, and it's always glad to have you.
Yep.
Appreciate your support.
And, you guys do a great job.
What do you think? I mean, you fished a couple of these. One of the earlier ones, it's been a little while since you've been able to join us, but what do you think of the progression of this event?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. I mean, you guys run a great event. It went very smooth. I didn't notice any problems at all, and hey, I had a great time, and I can't wait to get here next year. So,
all right, Ron,
I appreciate
pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good to hear from Ron Tobey and to have him there at the event. But I think our buddy Todd, was it Woods? Klein?
This one's Todd Kline. Todd Kline.
He stopped by to give us a little recap since we had him on earlier, right?
Yeah, we had him on a couple episodes ago to talk about kind of the preview show, talk about what he was going to do to prepare for the tournament, and he ended up landing in 32nd place, which, that's nothing to be ashamed of, but I'm sure
It's check range.
There you go. He got a check. So here's Todd Kline.
I had an absolute blast up there, Brad. The fishing was phenomenal. The fish were really transitioning and, starting to really spawn. The water was warming quickly when we were up there, and I was hesitant heading up there with 220 boats, just going, oh gosh, this is going to fish like Lake Paris. And I was pleasantly surprised that it fished a lot better than I anticipated. I had some areas where, there really wasn't many boats around, and then other times you had to share that water. But the fishing as a whole was really good. You could catch a ton of fish. Majority of the averages were in that kind of 3-pound range, and if you could get a high 3, ideally a 4 or better, is when you started to really separate yourself. And the first day, I went through I don't know how many fish, and came in with 19 pounds. Had high threes for the most part across the board. I think we had 1 4-pounder, and next day dropped a little bit. It was in that 18 range, and then on that final day was able to get 19 again, which put me in that 32nd. I did lose a giant on that final day, though. Unfortunately, I finally got the big bite and didn't put it in the boat.
Oh gosh, did you throw your rod, or what was your reaction?
No. So what happened was I was going across the flat. A lot of the areas I was fishing was spawning flats, and I came across this area where there was some isolated structure out there, and I visually saw it. I was wearing electric polarized sunglasses, which allowed me to see that. And so I power poled down, picked up the Senko, put down my my swim bait, and threw the Senko over there, lifted it up, it loaded up, reeled into it, and I knew immediately it was a big one. I told my co, this is the one, get the net, let's go. And he was up there, he was ready to go, and it turned. You saw the side of it, and it was a giant. I say 7. He says it was bigger than 7. And it just made a hard run and came undone. It didn't break the line, it just came undone. And you could see it was one of those pre-spawn females, big fat white belly hanging out the side, and it just came off. And I swear, as it left my hook, I was already screaming at the top of my lungs. I didn't cuss, but I definitely let out a big yell, and then just went right back to it. And fortunately, Brad, that was about 11 o'clock in the morning, late afternoon, about 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go even. I told my co, I'm gonna start working my way out to these no wake buoys, and then we got to run in. And I was throwing a VMC bladed hook with a swim bait on it out deep, and I was visually trying to see those darker spots with my glasses to pitch on, knowing their beds, but not wanting to see the fish, but just knowing their beds. So as I'm making my way out to those buoys, I saw the dark spot, power pull down, put my swim bait down, fire the drop shot over there, get the tick, reel into it. Immediately I see it's a big one. It's a 5.5. And so that's what, thank God, put me in that 32nd spot, because otherwise I had about 16 pounds in the well until then.
Looking forward to the U.S. Open, when do you start prepping for the U.S. Open?
Me personally, I do a lot of research, but really don't start to really dial into it until we get closer. But even for this year's Clearlake, I'm on the internet, I'm watching videos all the way back to classics from Bassmasters, and trying to watch, tournaments from that time of year and what was the water level, how were guys approaching it. And it just gives you peace of mind, at least gives you a starting point to start to build your tackle towards, going there. Fortunately, I've been to Lake Mead a lot. Used to do a lot of the TOCs out there. I fished in quite a few of the U.S. Opens. And really out there's a lot of dead water at Lake Mead. So it really comes down to trying to find those fish, but not catch them in practice, which is really hard to do.
All right. Yeah. I mean, Lake Mead is definitely one of the toughest lakes out there. So starting early and getting prepped for the U.S. Open, it's approaching. Everybody get ready. That's the next big one.
I'm looking forward to it. And, I usually don't go out there prior, Brad, but, I'll start to just kind of reflect on, years past, what I did, what worked, what didn't work. And then really it comes down to, once you get out there, just trying to find those key elements that are going to come into play, and without giving too much away, there's obviously community spots like any other lake, and the people in the know where those are, and it's a matter of trying to get those fish to bite, and if you can get those fish to bite, then you'll be in contention. But the biggest thing is doing it 3 days with 250 boats or whatever it's going to be on the lake. That's a giant body of water, but it's the same thing. And no matter where you go in the nation, the best anglers find those spots, and you'll have somebody in the same area.
Yeah, that's why you got to have the faster boat, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Or the better draw.
Yeah, there you go. That helps.
Yeah, it's funny how Todd mentions flights being important and not necessarily the speed of the boat. The flights are unique. We do them differently than anybody else in the West or United States, as far as I've heard. And again, the flights are all random. You basically put 214 pros in a hat, 214 co's in a hat. The computer throws it up in the air. Wherever it lands, it pairs them together. And the computer obviously is intuitive, so it knows at its best capabilities not to pair the same guy on the same day twice. It does happen. We fix it. Once it's done, nothing's perfect. But on day 3, we do it in a completely different way than anybody else does. And it was a system that I came up with a few years ago with the DFG's help, which basically takes with a 3-day event, it's kind of unique because the first day it's random, second day it's flop, third day nobody knew what the hell to do with. People would re-randomize it, which isn't really fair because if a guy was in the middle all 3 days, he's really not getting any more time. But we do it different, so it's based on your position after 2 days. So boat 1 going out the final day is the guy in first place. Last guy goes out last, but the first place guy normally in the first flight would come in the first flight. What we do is we flop it so that guy that is in first place earned the longer day, so he gets to come in the last flight.
Got it.
But something really unique happened at this tournament, and we're going to get a chance to talk to Hunter and Cliff here. But to have a pro and a co randomly get paired to fish with each other on the final day, where Hunter wasn't the leader at that time on the AAA side, to fish with Cliff King, who was currently, up in the top 10, and have them both end up being the champions has never happened in my 10 years.
Yeah, talk about
cool.
odds. That's pretty incredible. So here's Hunter Jacobson. He won the AAA side of things. What did he end up walking away with, Billy?
He walked away with about $6,300 something in cash. Got some prizes, an igloo cooler, lots of smiles on his face and pats in the back, and probably the confidence to come back as a pro next year.
Hunter Jacobson.
Yeah, it was crazy. So this is, my dad fished the one bass last year, and I couldn't make it because of work. I really wanted to try to make it, but I couldn't. So this is my first one bass on Clearlake, and day 1 I drew Noi, and I knew his name sounded familiar when I saw the text on my phone, but I couldn't pair it with who I knew it was.
The guy that got 90-something pounds.
Exactly, the guy that holds the record, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
So he called me in the morning and told me what boat he was in, and I remember seeing pictures from 2 years ago when he won it, and I was like, that's the guy that won it in 2019, so today's going to be a fun day. And we went out there, caught 18 pounds, so we had a decent day. Day 2, I had William Lang, and we caught just under 19, so a little bit higher. So consistent. I was consistent, slowly going up. And today I went out with Cliff King, and
you were paired with Cliff King today?
I was paired. Yes.
Awesome.
So I was paired with him, and we went out.
2 champions finished the day in the same boat.
That's exactly.
I don't know if I've had that happen before.
Yep. So when he called me last night, he said, listen, I'm in 12th. We need A game tomorrow. And I said, I'm in 50th, and I'm only 6 pounds out. So I'm bringing the A game with me. And we made it happen. I mean, it was a slow, tough day, but he made one really good decision at the end of the day. Put us on a new spot that we both haven't pre-fished or nothing, and caught a 4 cold, caught a 4.5 cold, caught a 4 cold, and then caught the 7, and we went all the way up to 25 from there.
Awesome. So how you feeling walking away with the AAA Champion Cup this year?
I don't think it's really set in yet. I'm really excited, and I don't even know what to say besides congratulate you guys and congratulate myself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Pat yourself on the back. That's a hell of a job. Way to do it. Do you have a boat of your own?
I do. So I have a 919 Pro XP Phoenix at home.
Oh, awesome. So not too long till you're on the pro side for this thing, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Maybe next year?
Yeah.
Now that you got this, there's only one other one you need.
Yeah, I think I'll see you guys next year on the pro side.
Awesome. Well, hey, congratulations again. Hope you had a great time, and savor this one for a year until we see you next year.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll be looking forward to seeing Hunter at the fishing the pro side of things next year. But speaking of pros, our pro winner Cliff King finished in first place, walked away or drove away with that Basscat boat and that Mercury outboard. Billy, tell me about Cliff King and what you know about his performance out there on the water.
Cliff and his wife Blossom and their family are just awesome people. Cliff's a kind of quiet guy, so it's not like one of those top 10, top 20 guys you see around the lake and everybody's like ooh and ah, and it's really cool to see somebody like Cliff, who's been doing this for 5 or 6 years now with us, end up on top. I mean, just the way that the tournament ended with as many people catching fish as they did, 21,000 pounds of fish.
Wow.
7,000 pounds of fish a day.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 fish limits across the board. So it's not that people weren't finding fish. It's just the quality of the fish that made the difference. And it wasn't a lot of weight that separated people apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who could find that better bite and land that better bite at Clearlake. The big girls were deep, and as he mentioned in some of his interviews on Facebook and some of the stuff he did on site, he was fishing in the 15 to 20 foot water that was outside of where everybody else was fishing, because he was not bed fishing. He was not looking. He was fishing where he thought the bigger fish would be, and turns out what he did worked. And to have him come out on top of all those top 10 guys that were there in the final day, Paul Bailey, Gary Collins, Bub Tosh, Matt Shura, Justin Kerr, all these guys that have won tournaments before, and to win it was just awesome, and the way we do it at the end, there's always drama, because you always know who the champion is at the very end, at the last minute. And to have, I think it was Nick Welton on stage at the time that had the biggest fish of the event, that was the last guy to weigh in and didn't have enough to do it. I think he needed like 18 or 20 something and only had 16 something possibly. But and then the Cinderella story to hear that Cliff's promised his son, who's now 21, promised him when he was 17 or something that if he won a boat, he'd give it to him.
Yeah.
And what you said to he drove away in that boat. I actually went and dropped it off for him over at his hotel.
Oh, yeah.
We shaked hands, let him take it over, gave him a walkthrough on the boat, and watched him drive away with it. So
wow,
it was pretty cool.
Awesome finish for Cliff King, and here he is. Here's what he had to say when everything wrapped up.
I'm talking to the man who toppled them all and is sitting here with a grin on his face he couldn't wipe off for probably a week. He's walking away with a brand new Basscat Sabre FTD with a 175 on it and $26,000 in cash and a new power pole that can either go on this boat or any other one you want to use from Power Pole. And none other than the 2021 champion, Cliff King. How's it going, Cliff?
How you doing, Billy? Feeling good.
Feeling good?
It's a good day.
So is it hit yet?
No, not really.
Not really?
Not really. It's
I know the phone started blowing up as soon as we announced it.
It's a special day.
It is a special day. When it's your turn, it's your turn.
When it's your turn, it's your turn.
So you've been fishing wombass for a number of years.
Yep.
I'm grateful to have you at our events. Always a great guy to have around, you and your wife. And what are you going to be doing with this Basscat Sabre boat that you got?
I'm giving it to my son.
Oh, that's awesome.
22 years old. I've been telling him for the last 5 years that I've been fishing the big stuff, that I'm going to win him a boat. So I'm going to stick to my word. It's his boat.
It's his boat.
It's his boat. He's my team partner.
What's your son's name?
Colby.
Colby?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. He fished the U.S. Open last year, didn't he?
Yep,
that's
a couple years ago.
Yep, a couple years ago. Well, that's awesome. Yep. So we're going to keep the Basscat boat in the family.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
He'll be entering some tournaments on his own with this thing, I'm sure, at some point.
He's going to be doing some more pre-fishing is what he's going to
Pre-fishing.
He has no excuse now.
So tell everybody at home, I'm sure, this is going to probably air next week sometime, so everybody will kind of be home and so forth, so it's no big deal telling us how you did it. Why don't you tell the folks that are listening how you put it together for 3 days?
Well, I had a really lousy practice. It didn't go very good. I mean, I caught some fours, but, I started up north every day, except for today. Yesterday, I went to a spot that I caught a 4-pounder on in practice, and I knew the area had good fish. It's been good to me in the past, so I decided I needed to go straight there, especially after the day yesterday weighing 23.79. We just culling 4-pounders, and I figured if I had to cull, I was down 4 pounds. That was my best shot. So went straight there and stuck a 4 right off the bat and sat there till about 1 o'clock, and it just never materialized. So.
Made a last-second move, didn't you?
Yeah, I ran over to Canocti area and kind of looked for beds and didn't see anything that would help me. I already had 18 pounds in the boat, and I told my I looked at this bank and I said, how about I change the scenery? So it was kind of a do-nothing bank, and I figured, a lot of guys probably hadn't been pressured too bad, and went over there, and within 10 minutes, we culled 3 fish.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so.
Found the mother load at the last minute, the Hail Mary.
Yeah, it was just one of those things, like you said, when it's your time, it's your time.
Right. So you were sitting there on the Basscat hot seat for a little while, and you had some of the big sticks still at the bump tanks.
Yeah.
Were you pretty nervous at that point?
Absolutely.
Did you think you had it? Did you know it?
I didn't know. I just.
But you hoped. You hoped.
Yeah, I hoped.
Nervous,
you know what? It was just great to be on the hot seat.
Right?
It was a great feeling. I want to be there again.
Well, we got the U.S. Open coming in October. Now you're signed up for that, and we look forward to it. Well, it's been an awesome week here at Clearlake. Another fantastic tournament in the pocket there. 9th anniversary. Next year's our 10th anniversary. One real cool thing I just talked to Hunter is, I don't think it's ever happened since I've been running tournaments where a pro and a co that fished together on the final day ended up both being the champions.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Wow, that is cool.
That is cool.
He's a special kid. He's a great stick. I think he's only 19 years old, but well, I'll tell you what, he can flat out fish.
All right, so congratulations to Cliff King on that awesome win, and of course he's going to give that boat to his son. Like you said, Billy, that's kind of the Cinderella story here to put a cap on to the end of this Cal Open. But next year we're looking forward to the 10-year anniversary of the Cal Open. We have something special planned? We have to, right, Billy?
I'm working on some pretty cool stuff right now. I can't give out a lot of information because it's just in the infancies, but we're working on something hopefully special on the AAA side for next year's event. Also getting Lakeport to roll out the red carpet even more for this 10th year anniversary. And, we're going to work on it pretty good because 10 years, that's a milestone right there.
Oh, yeah.
It means a lot to the community up there and to the anglers to be able to fish this event. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be April 13, 14, 15 in 2022 if anybody's looking forward to put that on their calendar. Mm-hmm. But gosh, we got a lot of events coming up. We've got the Strike King Big Fish Challenge coming up May 22nd. At Russo's Marina at the Delta. That's a single day event for a big fish where there's multiple weigh-in times and lots of cool prizes. I think the biggest fish is winning a $5,000 Lose Strike King Bling Your Boat package, plus the first 100 guys that sign up get a Lose rod, and I think there's like 30 of those rods left. So, get signed up for that. And then
when that was the Big Bass Challenge, Strike King Big Bass Challenge, that's going to be up in the Delta. So if you guys are feeling competitive after hearing all this tournament talk, that's your way to get your foot in the door and see what one of these events is all about, so you can walk away with some cool
and this
prizes.
is just for the grassroots guys as well. It's not you're not going to be fishing against the big name pros because there's some rules and qualification things that they have to abide by. So anybody that's got a boat with a live well wants to go out and catch a big fish, the Strike King deal is going to be an awesome event. Mm-hmm. And then in September, as we're staying on the bass side of things, we've got the Kiss My Bass charity event in Stockton going out of Lads. That's the Downtown Sportsman's Club and Western Outdoor News working together to raise charity funds for the Stockton Boys and Girls Youth Club there. And that's on our website as well. 100% of everything going to charity. There is a small payout for the top 10 guys, but there's going to be some raffle items, barbecues. It's just going to be a good time in the summer, late summer, to go fish and give back.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously the 900-pound gorilla
the
is
granddaddy of them all.
Of course, is the Juan Bass U.S. Open. So let's hear it. Like, what's the plan for the U.S. Open this year?
Well, we've already got 290 some entries right now. Again, about 40 of those are what I call backup entries because the number right now is 250 for the U.S. Open based on previous COVID standards. And, we've all seen recently that the tiers have changed, at least here in California. And hopefully by the time the U.S. Open rolls around, maybe they'll lift that veil on that 250 number. We can go a little higher, and it doesn't really matter as long as we're with 250 or more boats. It's going to be an awesome event. It's going to be a big payout, $100,000 for first place, Basscat Puma FTD with a Mercury 250 on it to the winner. And this will be our 39th anniversary event. So one more to go, and we got 40 to hit. So
I know we're hitting 10 years with the Cal. We're hitting 40 with the U.S. Open.
And we even got the 39th anniversary Striper Derby coming up in May. For you guys that like Havasu, come on out and swing for the fences for some stripers and win a Klamath boat. But lots of stuff going on at Western Outdoor News and Juan Bass.
Yeah, head over to wonews.com. You guys can sign up for all these events. I'm sure you guys are feeling competitive. I know I am. So let's see everybody out there on the water and win some cool prizes and have a good time.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next week.
Bye-bye.